Hello and welcome to the preview show from RamsTV. We've got another first for you tonight as Exeter City visit Pride Park Stadium for the first time to face Derby County in the league for the first time. The away side start the night above Derby in the table. This is their first season back in League One after promotion last season. They'll be very pleased with how it's going so far. A win could see them climb into the top 6. Lose and they'll drop below Derby, who start the night 4 points off the playoffs and 13 off the top 2. Derby's opponents at the weekend, Bristol Rovers, could move into the top half tonight. At the bottom, Burton could move out of the relegation zone. MK Dons have slipped to the foot of the table. Almost a full schedule of fixtures in League One tonight. We will run you through those a little bit later in the programme. First, let's talk penalties. Derby conceded quite a few in recent games, 5 in their last 3 league fixtures to be precise. Goalkeeper Joe Wildsmith has saved 2 of them, and he's never known a run quite like this.
Not the amount of penalties. I have saved back-to-back penalties before at Sheffield Wednesday, but that was a long time ago. But yeah, don't get me wrong, it's a bizarre situation to be in, especially the amount of penalties in the little amount of games. But yeah, I mean, it's one of them, obviously we don't want to give penalties away, but as soon as you sort of put in front of it as a goalkeeper, there's no real pressure on you to save the penalty. So for me, it's sort of a win-win. If I save it, great. If I don't save it, there's no real expectation on my side for me to save it unless I just completely miss it. But yeah, obviously it's great to get the recognition and that sort of attention around it, but in the grand scheme of things, we don't want to be giving penalties away, and I don't think we've been helped by refereeing decisions, whether that be through the referee or the linesman, in many cases in the last 3 games.
I don't want you to give away any trade secrets or give opposition any insight, but I am fascinated by sort of the thinking behind penalty saving from a goalkeeper's perspective. So let's start with preparation. How do you prepare and how much do you practice? Because we always hear before cup games, we practice penalties, but for a goalkeeper, how often are you practicing penalties? I
think for me, the preparation side of it is the same for every game. We'll look at free kicks, we'll look at corners, we'll look at penalties, long throws. That doesn't really change, and it's just for that one moment where we might see something to pick up on, whether that be from a corner or they go short if they put this hand up, 2 hands up, put the ball down, bounce it. It's completely the same for penalties and their routine at taking a penalty and just patterns really, and just watching back. There might be something that you just pick up on and think, yeah, why not, let's go for that. But yeah, I don't want to give too much away. Obviously, it's been highlighted enough, I think, because they've only scored 1 out of the last 5. So it's something that we do and have done at past teams at Sheffield Wednesday as well, where we have a look. Bailey last year at Sheffield Wednesday, I think he saved 5 out of 5 start of the season. So it's something that we've worked on and we've looked at, and it's worked for us. So in terms of that sort of preparation, it's great to see it come off and help the team where it can.
Strikers often say, and I don't know whether I believe them, but goals mean more when they lead to points and they lead to wins. Does the penalty save at Accrington mean more because it helped win the game, or does that sort of not come into it from your point of view?
Obviously it's nice that it led to a clean sheet for us and a victory in that sense, and I think it felt nice because the score was 1-0 at the time, and I think the situation of the game, it could have turned it completely the other way. I think if it's you're winning 3 or 4-0 and you save a penalty, there's not really much on it. Obviously, it's still nice for the goalkeeper to make the penalty save. But yeah, I think the situation in the game where it really we needed it to really kick on in that game, because it was a period where we were under pressure for 10, 15 minutes. So, like I said, I'm always trying to help the team in any situation, and if it's in a crucial situation like that, then it's better for me, and it feels that little bit better.
And more from Joe Wildsmith in Matchday Live tonight from 7:15. Remember, you can watch today's game worldwide on RamsTV. Head to the website dcfc.co.uk to get your match pass now. Well, tonight we have another first for you. Derby and Exeter have never faced each other in the league before. It'd only be the 4th ever meeting between the sides. The last time was 29 years ago, an EFL Cup first round tie that saw Derby go through 5-1 on aggregate. One more first for Exeter tonight, by the way, a first match in charge of their new manager, Gary Caldwell, only appointed on Monday. He watched the last gasp victory over Fleetwood at the weekend. From the stands, Sam Nombe got the 93rd minute winner. Exeter's former manager, Matt Taylor, left the club earlier this month to take over at Paul Warne's old club at Rotherham. And let's hear from Derby's head coach, who's facing Exeter tonight without a number of key players.
Yeah, it's not an injury crisis. Obviously, we've still got Colo missing as well from suspension. But Curtis took a crack on his knee. Initially, I naively thought he'd pulled his hammy the way he was moving. So, in fairness, a bang on the knee's better. They took a few millilitres of blood off it yesterday. Hopeful that he could train today, but he hasn't, so it's no great secret, he won't be available for tomorrow. Tom Barkhausen has tweaked his hammy a little bit, so he'll be missing for a short period as well. So, but on the positive, Didsy's back, fully fit. Corey Smith's got through the game all right. He was one of our outstanding performers, I thought. So. So it feels like we gain a couple back and then we lose a couple, which is a bit awkward. It's not a crisis. We've only got like 3 or 4 injured really, but we have got quite a small squad, so it is, it does have an effect.
We always talk about how the players are physically, but it's a really busy spell at the moment. How do you make sure that everyone is where they need to be mentally, and the work-life balance and all that sort of thing is where you want it to be?
Yeah, good question. Jenko, head of conditioning, whatever his official title is, he's really good at monitoring all the data, where we want them to be, all their training loads. The mental side of it, it's difficult. Like yesterday, like we played Friday night. I always want the lads to have Sunday off with their families, always, but I can't give them Saturday and Sunday and have just one day because of the injuries. We need to come in and see how everyone is. So I let everyone have Saturday off, and then we were in Sunday. But I'm always aware that on a Sunday I don't want the players in all day. I want them to go and spend time with their families. And I think next month especially, with all the away games, obviously some people will watch this interview and they're super fans who'll come to every away game. They know, the amount of time on the road and the amount of time away from home. So I'll try and, manage the time as best I can. I sometimes have late starts. I know the lads can take their kids into school and that, and try and give them as much family time as I can, but fundamentally we're here to win games, and the balance is always difficult. You've got to treat them as a human and as an athlete, and at times, when there's a lot of games in quick succession, the lines get a bit murky, I think is probably the finest way to put it.
Are the wives and girlfriends and partners, are they the unsung heroes of it all, just sort of having to deal with the changing schedule and being away and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, they are. I think like Colo's just had his Mrs. and little one on holiday, and they're back, and it's like, wow, thank goodness they're back. He's a lot happier. So everyone, you're only as good as the people around you. I say it all the time. Same with the football team, same with anyone in life. If you're lucky enough to be loved and you're in a relationship, or you've got good friends around you, you have a much better chance of survival if honestly. So yeah, the families at home, it might be mums and dads, it might be brothers and sisters, it might be partners, it might be mates, but like I always say to the lads, I only spend a really minuscule amount of time with them. The first phone call they make when they leave here, for example, let's just say I drop Colo today, the first phone call he'll make is his wife. I think it won't be his agent, although the agents would like to think so, it'd be his wife, and then his wife will say to Colo, hopefully it's your own fault, the manager knows what he's doing. So they're a massive support, as my wife is with me even now, as my kids are, but more so when I was playing, because like I said, they're the one you vent at, they're the ones that you want support from, and they're the ones fundamentally that come and watch you every week.
And there he is, head coach Paul Warne. 11 matches in League One tonight, including leaders Plymouth at home to Shrewsbury. Second place Ipswich are at Port Vale. Derby host Bristol Rovers at the weekend. They don't play till tomorrow night away at Sheffield Wednesday. And that's all from the preview show from RamsTV. Remember, you can watch tonight's game with others worldwide. Head to the website now, dcfc.co.uk, to get your match pass. Matchday Live with you from 7:15. I'll see you then. Goodbye.